so you know. How you doing, man?
Let me put you there. I'm okay. I'm okay. It's a little bit cold.
What's that?
It's cold.
It's cold. Oh,
Yeah,
where are you?
in Paris.
Ah, in Paris it's cold.
Yeah. We cannot have the heater on till November. You know that.
Well, you could thank Donald Trump for that.
And Biden and Putin and Zelensky and all the motherfuckers.
How long you in Paris for?
Oh, I don't know. I'm waiting for a visa for Cuba, so it's.
Oh, you're waiting.
Yeah, I'm waiting.
Is it hard to get a? Is it hard for Italians to get a visa?
Journalist visa, yes.
Journalist visa. Oh, it's hard.
Yes. If without with tourists, I just can't go, and that's it. But you know.
So what would be the difference? Well, if you had a journalist visa, if you have a press visa, what does it? Gives you more access?
Yeah, give me more access, and they don't arrest me and throw me away when I take out my camera. Maybe they do, maybe not. But this,
yeah,
if you want to work, you need.
You say you're a press. Yeah, you say you're press.
Yeah.
Will you go by yourself or with the writer?
No, with the writer.
Yeah. Okay. Well, it'll be a little warmer there, I hope.
Yeah, I think so.
But it is hurricane weather now.
Oh, but they start protest again, you know.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. So it's difficult maybe to get the visa now. We will see. Anyway.
Okay. Anyway.
Whatever.
I just wanted to, I'm putting together give you a little background. I'm putting together the show, which you know, and you're a part of that. Thank you for being a part of it. I really appreciate that. And so one of the things that's been discussed is, that I'm trying to take this show and put it into a website and try to make it a little bigger than just the exhibition, like to talk about influence with people who are in the show, like yourself and maybe some others, and incorporate this into the video. So make into the website, so it'll make it a little more interesting than just a bio sheet on Enrico and Todd and everything. But maybe this could be nice, this sort of like this little video thing. And I have a few questions that I'm going to ask. You can just respond whatever comes to your mind. They're not complicated questions, I hope. They're just mostly about influence. But the first thing I just want to say is I just want to publicly thank you for these two books that you put together, that you're responsible for, in terms of with the idea and the whole idea of the Pick for Notes 1, which is a beautiful book that we were together on 9/11 on the 36th Unknown. And then the other book is Pick for Notes 2, which is September 11th, which we started photographing after we returned to Paris, and a few other photographers as well were shooting the television as well as in America. And they're both beautiful books. And as I recall telling you that this book, September 11th, number 2, on the 10th anniversary of the Brooklyn Museum, had a big show on the 10th anniversary of 9/11, and my in-laws were here, and I said to them, "Why don't we go look at the exhibition at the Brooklyn Museum?" And they said, "Okay." And we walked in, and we were watching, seeing the pictures, and we got into one room with all the glass cases, with about 5 glass cases, and in each case was sort of a book, and our book was in there. Our book was with these other books. I think there was a Magnum book, and then there was another book by a photographer, but somehow the curator found this book. And the only place I could think they found it was we had it in printed matter which is that artist bookstore. And, you know, a lot of times people think curators don't do their jobs, but they do. They have to look at for things, and
Yeah.
you know that's their job.
Yeah.
So they found it, and it's great that they found this book, and
Yeah.
it was displayed beautifully. So it's really because of
Great.
you. It's really because of you that these analog projects exist, and we're waiting for Pick for 3 somewhere. We'll see what happens with it.
Yep.
But I just, you know, you seem to be interested in books
Yes.
as a form.
Yeah.
Are there
You
any?
want to
Yeah,
you want
are there any particular books that? I mean, what inspired you about books? I mean, what is there anything that you you know influenced you about books?
yes, yes, it's
Moment,
comics books.
moment, moment, moment. Somebody's here. Somebody's here. Okay. I'm on a video, so okay. I'm going to let them get through the house. We have some visitors from Switzerland. This is Niels.
Hi.
We got to come in and see.
Hi, Niels.
That's Enrico.
How you do?
En français.
No idea.
Spreek in français.
Bonjour.
Bonjour, comment tu vas?
Bien. Pas
Oh.
trop. J'étais dans la pluie.
Oh, oui, on m'a dit qu'à New York, il pleut aujourd'hui. À Paris aussi.
He's speaks Deutsch, but he speaks a few languages. Yeah. I'm going to let them get settled, and then we'll continue. So I'm sorry, you were starting. I was just curious. You like books, and I just wondered if there was anything that comes to your mind about the books that you've looked at.
Comics book.
Comic books. When you were a teenager, or growing up, or what?
Even before the teenager age. Since
you like
since I remember, since I was
you
a
like
kid,
the drawings?
teenager for sure.
You like the drawings because some of your work.
I like the drawings. I like the story. I like the layout. I like how it's coming alive. You know, that's the beauty of the comics book and the books too.
That's interesting because some of your work has that quality. Maybe that's.
But that's for sure. I'm coming from the comics book, not from photography. I didn't remember anything about photography till I'm 18. My real, love was comics book.
Were they in Italian, or were they all kinds, or?
All kinds, because my mother, she found, and they still have, they all in Ez. I have like a huge collection, thousands of comics books, but it's from Dick Tracy, from Mafalda, from everywhere, from Argentina to Italy to United States, to all over the place. France.
Wow. Do you still have them? Do you still have them?
Yes.
Oh.
Yes. Yeah. And I still read sometime because I still have thousands of them.
Did your daughters? Did it rub off on your daughters too?
Not really. No, Lisa, but some more recent is a Dylan Dog is a more recent comics books. It's from the let's say the 80s, or Alan Ford still in the 80s. That still exists today. Still. you still go and buy if you want to.
I never really got into comic books that much because I was dyslexic and reading was not easy for me. But what I just
But
had a
that's the
thought.
good that's the good thing about comic books. I'm dyslexic too. It's just easy. You can jump from one and come back and jump up and over, and then you rebuild the whole story in your mind. So it's a nice exercise.
Yeah, it's funny because I just had a feeling like it's like a dream almost, like how dreams
Yeah,
pop around.
yeah, completely. Yeah.
And do you think that I mean I know you're a journalist, but there's another side of you that is kind of hidden. You know, this sort of what I would call personal work, but I know you don't really do that. You don't think of it like that. But you know, you have this other side of you that um, has that kind of quality. I mean, I don't know if you can't really do that so much in the Perry match work that you do because they don't. You're not laying it out. I guess if they let you lay it out,
No, but I do.
God knows what
I
it would look
do.
like.
Yeah, but I do. I do with the job I do for Perry Match. I do this. Is in a different way, but I do. I redo the story. Not every story I do for match because I don't have the time. I take time and I need to be in the mood and plenty. I'm looking just if I can find one here, but I'm not in it. Yeah, let me see. Maybe I can find one for you, but it doesn't look like library.
When
I
when
don't
you
have
say
any here
you said something
because it's
about being you said something about being in the mood.
yeah.
Does that mean you're not in the mood sometimes?
Or being in the mood also. Uh, just it depends of the story. Sometimes it's being in the mood. Sometimes the story is a little bit hard to digest, and so is a way to take it out and to put in the out of your mind. You put in a book, and then it's free.
Hmm.
It's more like this. And BO, I don't have here any of them, but I can show you some example very easy one day if I have time to look in my
Okay,
laptop.
that would be fun. That would be fun.
This is kind of I don't know. Oh, maybe here we have something. I'm not sure, but
You want me to share the screen?
no, because I'm
Oh,
on the phone and
okay,
I'm
no
trying to
problem, no
find.
problem. The quality's really nice, actually.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I just try to see if I found. If I no, I don't have here. It's in my laptop probably.
Okay, we could, if you find it, you let me know. Well, let me start with the first question, which is
Go.
of all the people whose work and lives have most influenced you, which one is least obvious in your work?
But you talk about photography.
Basically, or yeah,
But
basically photography.
I don't know about photography. I really don't know. I have no idea. Someone else has to look at my picture and find out. I can say writer, but I can. No, I don't know photography. It's very hard for me to because I remember single picture that I collect actually from my very young age that I see in newspapers, picture from the Vietnam War, picture from the Italy unrest or civil war with the Red Brigades and this kind of stuff. That's the picture. But he's not a single photographer, it was just the pictures blow up on this day on the newspaper and I saw this picture and it's still, so this is the influence. It's more the comics book in one way and the newspaper in the other way.
Do you remember one image? Is there one image that comes to your mind that you?
Yes, yes. So one image, the image I remind most is probably one of the first image. I was probably 10 years old, and it was in Genova. It's a very famous picture, but it's taken by an amateur. It's not a professional guy, you see. And is let's see, it's the beginning of the very hard time we got in Italy with the terrorism. And this happened in Genova. There is a hold up, but some two guys, they tried to rob another man. And this guy, he ran after the two robbers. They are in a small Lambretta, it's like a Vespa, a small scooter. And one of the guy, he turned up and just shoot the guy dead. So, and this amateur guy was up in some apartment and he just shot the picture from up the moment they are killing the poor. Yeah. So this is the first pic, and I found it last year. I bought for €150, the original one. And that was the last one. I closed my collection with this one. I have all.
Yeah, that is something about you too, that you do love, you like to collect things. And I guess it's not just photography, but
No,
images,
yeah.
things, yeah. And you pick up things in your travels too, like
yeah, sand, bullets. All this.
And then I remember
Everything.
that in as you have that in the background on your wall, you have that I don't know what it is, if it was a flag or something with from Iraq with Saddam, I think, wasn't it?
Yeah, there is plan. There is from Iraq. There is from Gaza. There is from the grave of Arafat. There is stuff from
So
Yugoslavia.
Do you pick up these things to remind
Yes.
you of the time, or just, I mean, is it beyond the piece itself, but just like to remind you of that time? Something about picking something up?
I don't know.
No, you don't know. Okay.
I don't know. It's a kind of stuff. Is for me is this moment. Is this flag? This Yugoslavian flag in the barracks of Vukovar, whatever. This picture of Saddam Hussein in Diyala, or the flag of the Palestinian flag that was flying over the cathedral during the siege. All these kind of little things that fix a moment on my life and my work.
The second question: influence comes from people other than individuals working in the field as their own. So we're kind of talking about this now. You kind of brought it out. And you were sort of talking about who are some of the people not working in the field, which you were talking about this amateur guy. And that was a while ago, right? That was a long time ago. So that was almost like a civilian journalist in a way. Somebody who wasn't a journalist, but who documented that was like the beginning of civilian journalism in a way.
In a way, if you want, yeah, that was in the 70s. 70 or 71, I read, or 60 is between, I forgot exactly the date, but it was between 69, 70 or 71, one of these 3 years. It was like between the 9 and 11, you know.
Because I mean, what is the difference? I mean, what would you say is the difference between a civilian journalist that is very talked about today and someone like yourself who's a journalist? I mean, what in your definition, what would you say is the kind of the difference?
Right, the kind of the difference is the difference is, for me, the most striking difference is the fact that the guy, he shot this picture once in lifetime, and it's just an accident, luckily accident at the end. And in the other hand, you have the journalist that almost spend his entire life to looking for this picture, this kind of picture, this kind of, that that document with knowledge day and years after years, and this is the main difference.
Yeah,
So-
and also contacts. I guess you develop a body of like if you're working in a certain story over years, you develop relationships with people that
yeah,
give you access.
sure. This,
Whereas a
yes,
civilian
exactly.
journalist, like you said, is just
Yeah.
a matter of time, and luckily,
Yeah. Knowledge, the ground of the people of the story. You try to understand as much as possible, because it's always a tricky business, understanding the people in another country. But this is the main difference for me. Luckily, and then you have another kind of citizen journalists that are the kind of they growing up during uprising, revolution, civil war, that normal people that till the day before they are doing something else. Their life is about, I don't know, being a lawyer, whatever, a doctor, whatever, but he is forced by the situation around him to become a journalist, a witness, and to document and to keep record of what's going on, because in many cases now there is no access for real journalists. So, but he became a real journalist, the guy. He's not anymore a citizen journalist like by luck. He, you know what I mean?
My name is Enrico Dagnino. I'm a photojournalist. The most important part of my job is collecting information, share this information, keep them as evidence in some case, or keep them as documentation for later on. I don't give any importance to the photographs, to the aesthetic of the photographs, the technique of the photographs. What interests me most is the information I can get inside the frame. We were in Elygia, a big battle started. I was standing behind a car, Lada, whatever it was, Golf, protecting myself from the bullets and shooting, and I saw a bridge. And on the bridge, I saw 3 people running, 2 of them half naked. The third man was totally naked. Behind them, they have 3 or 4 of these militia beating them with the black stick the police use for the rioting. I remember they stopped in the middle of the bridge, they turn the gun, and they shoot 1 or 2 of these men, and the men fall in the river. Without even thinking, it was just because if I think I should stay behind the car. So they saw me, and they see me taking the picture, and they arrest me. And immediately they take away my Canon. And I have a third little camera, I have a little Leica on my chest. I remember I took 1 picture, and is the man in the river. And they were taking me to lock me inside a room in the Hotel Terme. And when I was passing by with these 2 guys, before reaching this room, I walk in front of a big window, and I turn a little bit my head, and I see putting this naked man inside, arresting him, and probably disappear forever. So I just turn a little bit, and I click, and I take this picture. This is the picture about the execution happening on the bridge. They call Beograd, they talk to Arkan, and they tell him what kind of photos I took and what to do with me. Then they lock me down in the APC for 8 hours, and for some reason they don't see this lake. I still have the lake. They don't take, but I don't take any more picture because it was really in the middle of 2 guards. So I have my hands down, and I stand, and they go like a little, robot and I have claustrophobia for years after that, and now it's finished and everything is fine, and that's it.
Are the people you work with, the writers that you work with, are they an influence on your work at all?
No, not at all. The writer, not at all. I have some of them I like, some of them I just I've just because I have to work with them, but not at all. No,
Mhm.
no. And I think not most, but a lot of my work it was done without writer, and if I can choose, I prefer work alone.
Really?
Without work, yes,
Oh,
without writing.
writer. Um, whom would you most like to meet and why? And what would you talk about? Is there anybody that you would like to meet? Maybe Putin. I don't know. I mean, you did meet Gaddafi. I don't know if you said anything to him.
Yeah. I
Yeah,
talked
you
with
said
Gaddafi a
something to
little bit
Gaddafi.
because I grew up in a communist country, and he did a lot of things for this small country where I live when I was a teenager and young kids, and we have some people, let's say, common friends, and so I talk about that. Sure.
And I guess he spoke French.
Oh, I don't remember. No, he said something in French. I remember very well because he was saying something in French. But the real interview, he want just a translator. We speak in English and the translator, or we speak in French and the translator do the job and he reply in Arab and back and forth. It was a very short exchange in I don't remember actually if it was in French or in English, which language we use. I remember him talking French when he arrived, say, comment ça va, Enrico? Comment ça va? So, how are you doing, Enrico? I say, I'm good.
But I mean,
Then we have
do you
this
think
little short talk about my youth.
But did you tell him you were Italian, or did you tell him that you were Italian?
They know everything. Before seeing Gaddafi, they go through your passport, your life, your father, your mother, your neighbor. I don't need to tell him I'm Italian. He knows.
Well, so getting back to the question, is there anyone you would like to meet and why? They could be living, but especially dead. Maybe they're dead.
Dead?
Maybe they could be living, or maybe they could be dead. But what would you want to talk to them about if there's somebody that comes to
I
your mind?
would like to meet Lou Reed.
Who?
Lou Reed.
Lou Reed.
Yeah.
Okay, and why?
To talk about music, to talk about the Velvet Underground, to talk about New York in the 60s, to talk about the factory.
He was awesome. He was awesome. So, is music an influence?
Maybe. I'm not sure. I don't know. But yeah, it's for sure. I listen to the Velvet and Lou Reed till today, almost every day. In one way or another, every day I have some coming up here or there, some song from the Reed.
Right. Suffering profoundly affects everyone. If you are comfortable sharing your experience, please describe how suffering has influenced your own work and perspective.
Oh no, it's a very complicated question, Todd, because suffering is a personal thing. It doesn't influence, at least I think, I don't know, but I think when I'm working, I have a kind of shield that is built in years and years of this suffering around me. And that's protect me from be too much involved in the moment, but then it's coming up later on, and sometimes it even come up and for little things and just say why you didn't suffer at the time, you suffer now. There is a very mess in my mind about this. It's not easy, but when I work, I try to just put this shield and say, okay, now is it, and let's do it, and we will see later on. Sure enough, if I can do something for someone who is getting beat or killed or whatever, I can, if my intervention can stop something bad, I will intervene. I put, this before the journalist, but let's say the usual suffering, I try to
Shield it.
Yes.
Do
yes.
you think the camera helps?
Yeah, the camera 100%. Without the camera, you cannot. First of all, you have no justification to be there and just be, kind of voyeur and watching suffering for. Already with a camera, it's hard to justify sometimes, but without a camera, it's just impossible. Or maybe if you're a writer and you have your pens and or whatever, you need something to deal with the suffering around you. At least a kind of purpose. You will not work, but in your mind, you can justify your presence in this place.
What would you like your legacy to be, and why? What would you like your legacy to be and why?
Oh man, I don't think I have any legacy.
Well, I mean, when you have a picture published, for example, in Perry Match, how many people do you think see that picture? How many people do you think see that picture?
Several millions.
Millions. I mean, if it was in a gallery,
Yeah.
there would be maybe 1,000. But your pictures are being seen by millions, and they can have some historical value. I watch these documentaries by Ken Burns. And so much photography. He uses so much photography. And
The one about Vietnam?
Everything. All of his things have so much photography in it.
Yeah.
It's incredible. And I'm thinking, today with the way things are moving, there's still photographers doing things, but I remember, I'm not a journalist, but I remember talking to journalists. I mean, they would go to an assignment and they might cover something that may never get published, but it was important to cover it.
Yeah.
Is that still happening?
It's probably still happening. On the real freelance work is still happening, probably. On the young kids going around and starting, probably is happening. To me, it could happen once in a year, maybe not even once a year. If I do a story, but during the deadline, something much bigger happen, and they kill the story to run another one, and then the story is done, it's finished, it's dead.
Oh,
That
okay.
can happen.
But the intent is really to publish it. That's the
Yeah. Yes, 100%. This is
But
that's
was there a
100%.
time? Was there a time when you maybe just go cover a story, where maybe it wasn't an intent to publish it, possibly,
No,
but just
no,
always
no.
always an intent.
Always, yes. Always, yes.
So you don't feel Enrico Dagnino has a
Legacy.
Well, this is part of your legacy,
All right. Okay.
and Kuma International is part of your legacy now. That's a whole nother side of you that you've been able to develop with Claudia. I mean, that's awesome. That's such a great project. An important project for the people who experience it, for the people who talk there and give their knowledge, and for people like me who've been able to see some of it on Zoom.
Yeah.
It's really been very successful, and telling an important story and trying to help people. How do they move on from a trauma? But that's something that you have a legacy for.
Oh, we did the movie.
You did the movie.
Yes.
Yes, you did the movie. Yeah.
The Unsafe Garage and the
That's
book.
right. That's right. And the book and the magazines.
And the magazine, yeah.
And how many years now? It's been like 5 years now, no? 4 or 5 years?
Oh, wait. It's really is 2018. 2018.
Yeah. So no legacy. No legacy. Well, we'll have to make some splices in this video and put some legacy in there. Is there just a couple last ideas? Is there anything you would like to share with us about Influance? I mean, the whole reason, when I decided to do my retrospective, I just didn't want to show just my work. I wanted to show people like yourself who, in one way or another, I feel has influenced me. And it may not be necessarily visual.
Yeah.
But in fact, it does affect me visually. I mean, the picture that I put next to your picture,
Yeah.
I wouldn't have taken that picture really probably if I didn't know my friends who are photojournalists. I probably wouldn't. My pictures, hands up, don't shoot. Your pictures of two gentlemen or military guys facing each other. And when I saw that picture, it reminded me of this other image that I took. And probably I was thinking about myself and, why am I inviting Enrico, and I started thinking, in some ways, just being with you and being a friend of yours also, and seeing your work all these years has had an influence on me. And I appreciate you being in the show, man. I'm thrilled, and it's exciting for me. It's coming together somehow. Somehow it's really coming together.
Yeah.
And I use this idea of improvisation and jazz and, seeing your image and then working with my image to your image. And so I just want you to know that, you have a legacy on me. So the next interview, you can say that. Well, I have one friend who's got some legacy on me,
I'll do. So, no, I don't know I don't know the influence, but for sure I have the chance to have some very good friends, and that also is a great photographer. I work a lot. We work years together in so many stories with Chris Morris. I'm a good friend of Enrique Martí. That's one of the best photographer and photo editor I ever met in my life. and for sure we catch things from each other, and then even if we don't realize, that's I get from Chris, this I get from Enrique, this one I get from Laurent or whatever, you know. It's just like and you spend so many time with them in so difficult situation, and sometimes your life depend on your friends, and their life is on your hand. So it's, yeah, probably influence on this way for sure. I have on these people, yeah, my friends. Yeah.
You know, I've been, I have these students that you've talked to from Berlin. They come, and I've been taking them to this new place in the Bronx called the Bronx Documentary Center. I don't know if you've heard of it.
Yeah. I heard.
You have heard of it.
Yeah, Gary just give an enlarger, big enlarger. I just saw.
Tim Harrington was one of the people behind it, and
Yeah.
this other guy, Michael, who I don't know if you know him, the other gentleman who's running it, very nice guy. He spent a lot of time in Iraq and Iran and different places. And I would love for you to have a show there. I think it'd be fantastic. Maybe I should talk to them. Is that something that would interest you? I don't know. I mean, it's a very special place. It's in the South Bronx. They're community based. It's fantastic, really. I'm very impressed with what they do, and it's not fancy.
Okay.
It's not fancy, but it's. I'll send you a link to their thing. But think about it. If it's something that might interest you, I would like to be the conduit, maybe, of bringing you guys together. You know, or maybe it could be a group show that you would like. You know, I know you put exhibitions. I know that you've been putting exhibitions together. Maybe there's even something through Kuma, or so. I don't know what you would want to do.
Yeah.
But it's something we should talk about. You know, maybe.
Okay.
You know, they're looking to team up with people. Maybe something with Kuma too. I'm going to tell them about Kuma, and maybe there's something that can happen. You know, having a show of either you, Kuma, whatever you want. You know. Well, that basically are the 5 questions that I have. Do you have any questions?
No.
Well, I can't wait to see. I was trying to get to Paris for Perry Photo, but I'm not sure now. But we'll see. If I get there, I'll let you know.
When is it in November?
November 9th through the 13th or something like that. You know, do you go? You don't go very much to Perry Photo, right?
No.
If you're in town, maybe
only once. I was there.
Did you go to Perpignan this year?
No. I was in Arles.
Oh, right. Okay.
I went to Arles, but just for Claudia, and we saw.
Oh, how was Arles? Did you like Arles?
Exhibition.
Did you like Arles?
If I like what?
You went to Arles? Where did you go with Claudia?
Arles. Yes.
Yeah. In the south of France.
In Arles.
Yeah, Arles. Yeah. Sorry. Yeah. You liked it?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean,
yeah, we saw only 2 exhibitions.
Oh, okay. Where did you stay? In the center, in the town?
No, we don't go for the main things.
Oh, you went after.
Yeah, after, and we went for one exhibition in particular that was about the feminism in the 70s, and it was amazing.
Oh, okay, really? Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, I used to go to Arles, but I haven't been there in a long time. I know Thomas Sandberg from Berlin goes there almost every year because his students have a little show there. But I guess Arles is still on the map. How's Perpignan doing? Is it still popular? People going, or Perpignan?
I think they are doing well. It's just too much for me. I don't really
too much now.
Yeah, it's too much people and too much, this.
Yeah.
But it's personal. Nothing against.
Yeah. Okay.
you know.
Okay.
And
Yeah, I get it. I get it. You still look young and handsome. Don't worry about it.
and you know, we have a lot of the best stuff. The best stuff we have in that will be used in the exhibition of Perpignan. I saw in Sarajevo, because we brought in Sarajevo first in Perpignan and first in Bayeux. So during the Warm Festival,
Yeah.
I saw the Mario Paul exhibition of Malaqueta, the Eugenie Malaqueta, from the AP guy, and I saw something else I forgot, but
Yeah. Okay. All right. Good. Well,
I'm a
Enrico,
little bit fed up with all photographer. You know, it's too much.
yeah. Yeah. I
You
understand.
need to change a little bit, because just talking about
Yeah.
bullshit.
Yeah. Yeah. I get it. All right. Well, I appreciate the interview. I thank you so much. I think it'll be really nice to include this somehow.
Pleasure, Todd.
You know, I really, really.
Oh, do you know, by the way, your student Selver?
The who? The students?
Selver, you remember Selver?
Yeah.
Is he gonna have a very good, very fantastic exhibition produced by Kuma
Wow.
in Zenica? Not about, because he's also an architect. About, he did a huge study in this Bosnian town called Zenica about the modernism
Wow.
building.
When is it?
So is in 28th of October.
Oh, same time. Hey, who's in the background there?
Oh, you see this little
Wow,
monster?
she is so beautiful.
No, it's not beautiful.
She is beautiful. I know you can't. I know you have to be careful when you tell a woman she's beautiful, but I can
Yeah.
say it. She's beautiful. Bonjour. Ça va?
The little French.
A little
You
French.
see the little.
Puff-
I don't have my screenshot, so I don't see what you see of me. I don't know.
Oh,
I just
I'll send it. I'll send it to you. I'll send it to you.
Okay, because I didn't see it.
Let me send that one. Let me get that one. You too. Let me get us all three in there. There you go. That's beautiful. And she's getting big, huh? Ooh, man.
Too much and too fast.
Too fast.
Trouble.
I don't know how you do it, Enrico. I don't know
either, you know. Trouble on two legs. Yeah.
All right, so keep me posted if you get the visa.
Yep. Yeah, sure.
Okay, and thanks for coming in on such short notice. Okay, big
Enjoy
kiss.
your Sunday.
Bisous.
Ciao. Bisous.
Ciao.
Ciao.